In today's recording, we are going to see how we can use the latest feature of NVIDIA Isaac Sim, which is called Event Configurator. So for that, I have installed NVIDIA Isaac Sim version 5 from the latest source code, which was available on GitHub. And then for that, we have to enable one extension called Event Configurator. So as we go to the extension bar, there we would be seeing these following options if we search for event, Isaac Sim action and event data generation. We would launch this application and wait for it to launch. So this will open up a new window, which would have all the UI integrations which is required to launch the event setup. So we can also go to tools, we can go to action and event data generator, and then there are some different options which are available to set up your scene. So in this video today, we are going to see how we can set up particularly event scene tagger and event config file. So I'll enable these extensions. We can see now we have opened up these extensions in the UI. Also, we will load up the scene which is required to run this simulation. So if I click on this setup simulation, it would load up the environment, warehouse full USD file, which has some actors and some objects already placed for the basic warehouse scene. We will wait until it loads up the scene. Okay, now the scene has loaded successfully, and we're going to set up some trigger events here. So for doing that, we have to go to event scene tagger and select objects that we want to tag to generate different events. So first we'll go with the topple tagging. So basically here we see three options: nav mesh, random directory, or random direction, and then closest waypoint. So basically it is telling what direction the objects would toggle. So if we select toggle lose item nav mesh option, so there is already a nav mesh present in this environment that we can also go and see in the perspective section, and the boxes will move or being thrown into that direction, so that we can try. So let's start tagging the item. So maybe I'll select some boxes that we would like to throw off of the shelf. So let me select some objects. So I'll select three boxes and add nav mesh to that. So we can see now these items are highlighted in white. Same we can also tag like the fire event. So let me select some objects to tag for the fire event. So I'll select flammable objects, and then also we'll select some spillable tagging. So let me select some of these items for spill tagging. And I think we can also select the floor for marking where the spill should go. So I'll mark it as spillable area. So we have done all the tagging now. Let's go to the event config file. So there are some already present event. We can maybe modify them. So there is this topple event. So all the tags that we have set here, we can set up their configuration as well. So within like 1 second of the time, this topple event would be triggered. Same goes for fire. Maybe let's put it as 1-1. So in 1 second, all these events would be triggered. So now we have to click on this setup event button to set up all the events that we want in this warehouse to execute once a simulation has to be started. And then we can just click on the record event and we can see all the events happening. So first, I think we would be seeing this boxes falling according to the objects that we have selected. And also we can see the spill over here. And at the same time, the fire also started to burn. So this is the new feature that NVIDIA Isaac Sim has very recently released in their Isaac Sim 5 version. And to set up this feature, they haven't released a pre-compiled binary so far. So I had to clone the GitHub repository and build a version by myself to set up this event tagger simulation.